yamin.
Kolo merkra v'amar ma'ekra, kol basar chatzir, v'chol chasto ketzitz hasadeh, yavesh chatzir novel tzitz ki ruach Adonai nashvabo. Achen chatzir ha'am yavesh chatzir novel tzitz udvar Eloheinu yakum liolam. A voice says, cry out. But I ask, what shall I cry? All flesh is like grass, and all of its beauty is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, and the flower fades, when a wind from God blows upon it. Surely, therefore, people are like grass. The grass withers, and the flower fades, but the word of God endures forever. LeDavid mizmor l'Adonai ha'aretz umloa, tevel v'yoshveva, ki hu al yamim yisada v'al nehorot yichoneneha. Mi ya'aleh bahar Adonai, umi yakum bimkom kadsho, Neki chapayim uvar levav, asher lo nasa lashav nafshi v'lo nishba lemirma. The earth is the Lord's with all of its fullness. The world is the Lord's with all of its inhabitants. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in the holy place? She who has clean hands and a pure heart. She will receive a blessing from the Lord and a just reward from the God of deliverance. I know that Hope spent her life creating special moments for people in the nature of her work. The nature of her work was to try to set the right mood for a special moment in the life of a family. And she loved working with people to create just the right ambiance, just the right style, the right sentiment for people celebrating and marking these special occasions. It wasn't just a business for her, it was people. It was being sensitive to people. It was listening to people, which means appreciating people, and being patient with people. You all felt she had the patience of a saint. She was a salesperson, of course, but at work, many times she was also a social worker, confidant, psychologist, and just a good friend of her clients. And, of course, a problem solver. But it all really worked because Hope was so sincere. She really was sentimental about life's special moments. Birthdays mattered to Hope. Anniversaries mattered. She was the keeper of the calendar in your family. She cared about the important dates. These moments really meant a great deal to her. And she would get very sentimental, looking at photos, remembering moments of her family, and remember milestones of others. And so she cultivated close friendships because of how thoughtful she was. And Jewish holidays were special to her. I know that within your family growing up, Scott and Lisa, it didn't really take a special day for your mom to appreciate family time together. You said that you were very communicative as a family at dinner, at other times, relating to each other, talking to each other. You would go to her growing up at times to talk, and she'd give you her opinion, but she also let you be yourselves. And you knew that she was your supporter and your fan. You know, the word in Hebrew for parent is very similar to the word for teacher, because a good parent can often be a child's best teacher. Hope modeled for you the way to care about someone. She modeled for you the way to reach out to people and the way to treat people. You said she was the queen of etiquette, right? Miss Manners. She had strong opinions about the way things should be done. Don't skimp on the quality, right, of the stationery. Don't skimp on the quality of business cards. If it's important, if it matters to you, make it good quality. And you know what? I think that's a great analogy for her life. Hope believed you shouldn't skimp on the quality of your life. Don't skimp on the quality of your family and in your life. Don't skimp on the quality of your relationships and your friendships. And so she gave it her all, to all of you. You know, when you hear the story of people's lives, at some point, and you can just wait for this because it will come out, they will eventually talk about someone who was their champion, somebody who believed in them, Everybody has that moment where they really reflect. They say, this mattered to me, that he or she believed in me. She was always in my corner. And I think you knew that both about your mom and your dad. They were your fans. They believed in you. They were your champions. And the grandchildren. You knew that your grandparents were in your corner and were your fans. And you also knew that they believed in each other. Jay, you and Hope have essentially known each other for as long as you can remember liking girls, right? 8th grade. That was it. That was it. You didn't like girls, you liked girl, and that was it. From that point onward, you grew up together. You became adults together. You became best friends together. And you were indeed two parts of a whole. Yours was a united front, a mutual support system. You even supported each other's superstitions. The gas, right, finishes in a 7. Now you got to change the number, exactly. You finished each other's sentences and each other's thoughts. You can't teach that. That's something that's lived and becomes part of you. It was instinctive. You completed each other. And you found in each other a kindred spirit, sensitive and kind and thoughtful and of similar values. Did we know her? Or she was, no, she was okay. I think in my high school yearbook, you two would have been cutest couple. That would have been the superlative. You knew that she treated everyone fairly, everyone as an equal, each with their own story to tell. Her employees became her friends, and her friends became like her family. And you two loved each other with selflessness, caring more even about the other than you did about yourselves. You two truly proved that the math of love is 1 + 1 means more than 2. Because that's how you walked through life together. If Hope was the one who remembered important moments on the calendar, she also remembered challenging moments. You needed to be there for each other for the challenging moments. The loss of a child. Her bout with cancer on several occasions. You found resilience and perseverance through the strength of each other. You picked each other up when you were weak. And indeed, she had her worries and her fears, health-related, probably influenced by the events of her life. But you reassured her, and you gave her much joy. All of you gave her much joy. I know, Lisa, the family was giving you a special shout-out for the way you would spend time with her and talk her through such moments. She loved being a grandma. She loved having a relationship with each of her grandchildren. She loved being so close to her own mother. And she had a tremendous memory for every client, for every friendship, because she cared. A wonderful homemaker, an excellent cook, proud of her home, and determined for it to be welcoming and a place of warmth and love. She juggled many things, but she always found the time for each of you. She showed up. She showed up. And she certainly could look back on her life and acknowledge what a wonderful life she had had, even to the birth of a great-granddaughter. She lived with a good name, and she died with a good name. I know, when I ask, I guess, Helly, you're the first on the list.
Thank you, Rabbi Scott. So Hop had picked out a selection of readings and poems for this service, and this one is called When I Die, excerpts from the poem by Malloy. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands. Love doesn't die. People do.
Native American prayer. I give you this one thought to keep. I'm with you still. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glint on the snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still, in each new dawn.
So I have a poem that Hop picked out. This one is called The Dash. It's by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth, and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth. And now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? I also, I picked out a couple poems myself. This one is called Here the Bird's Journey Ends, by Mahmoud Darwish. Here the bird's journey ends, our journey, the journey of words, and after us there will be a horizon for the new birds. We are the ones who forged the sky's copper, the sky that will carve roads after us and make amends with our names above the distant cloud slopes. Soon we will descend the widow's descent in the memory fields and raise our tents to the final winds. Blow for the poem to live and blow on the poem's road. After us, the plants will grow and grow over roads only we have walked and our obstinate steps have inaugurated. And we will etch on the final rocks, long live life, long live life, and fall into ourselves. And after us, there will be a horizon for the new birds. This one is called Before Winter by Kwame Dawes. I imagine there is a place of deep rest, not in the resting, but after, when the body has forgotten the weight of fatigue or of its many betrayals. How unfair that once I thought it clever to blame my body for the wounds in me, the ankle bulbous and aching, the heaviness in the thigh and the fat, the encroachment of flesh. It is hard to believe that there are those who do not know that it is possible to let things go, to then see the expansion of flesh. It is so easy, and that knowing is a pathology. What is unknown to me is the clear day of rest. I carry a brain of crushed paper. Everything unfolds as if by magic, Every spot of understanding is a miracle. I cannot take any credit for the revelations. They come and go as easy as the wind. You must know that this is a preamble to an epiphany I will record. The late morning light of October, the damp soiled backyard, the verdant green lawn, the bright elegance of leaves strewn over it all, turning nonchalantly in the wind, and the sky blue as a kind of watery ease, a comfort. It is all I can say. The kind one knows, even standing there, waiting for the dog to squat. One that I will remember for years, but will never have the language to speak of. One of those precious insignificances that we collect and hoard. The moment lasts 10 breaths, and in the silence, I imagine I can see spirits. I can know myself, and I will not fear the betrayals of body and love and earth, and the machinations of self-made emperors and pontificates. It will be winter soon. I know my body is collecting water in its nether regions. The weight of the hibernating mammal, storing everything in drowsy, slow-moving preservation. I mean, I am losing myself to the shelter we build to beat back sorrow and the weight of our fears. I have covered thousands of miles in a few days, and I feel my parts flaking off, a shedding of yellow pieces covering the turning earth, and I am helpless to this soft disappearing that some call sleep. I will stretch out and breathe. And I have one more poem. This one I wrote, and it was one of Hop's favorites of mine. I think it's fitting because it's about freedom, and after everything Hop struggled through in these last days, she's finally free of it all. This is called Psalm of the Edge. Plie naked along cliff's edge. Stare down the rock face. Stare down the unconquered heavens. Dance and grasp the hands of your heartbeat. Feel the wind tear and pull at every pore. Your movements are unhindered, your stride unrelenting. Watch pockets of luminescence gather and reflect from your porcelain palette. Let your tongue toss laughter across endless valleys and mountain ranges. Quiet to hear the genuflection in the echo of landforms. Catapult your music box with the strength of a javelineer and dance to your psalm, the Psalm of the Edge. Thank you.
So this is a letter I wrote to Hop. I was never very close with my grandparents. So when I met my future bride and observed her relationship with hers, it was so foreign to me. On Allie's 18th birthday, which just so happened to be the day that we first started dating, was the day I first met Mom and Papa. I was definitely a little nervous. I remember Papa jovially asking me questions about myself, while peppering in a couple stories here and there, as he does. Hop listened intently to my answers, nodding and asking a few of her own. While Papa was so friendly and welcoming, I felt as though I was being sized up by the ever-discerning eye of Mom. I definitely hoped I made a good impression. At the end of birthday dinner, I bid adieu with a hug and a kiss, and I remember thinking, man, I hope I didn't say something stupid in front of her grandma. Now, I know I'm not the nice Jewish boy you had originally hoped your granddaughter would marry. Nonetheless, you always always welcomed me in as a part of the family. We bonded over cooking and our strong opinions about small little details. You cooked the most comforting foods and even got me to like some leftovers, though it's mostly a lost cause. I love that you owned your own business and could sell me on just about anything. Most of all, I loved feeling like one of your grandchildren. You were so generous with your love. So no longer is that sort of bond with a grandparent foreign to me. And I only hope to share that love with our grandchildren. With love, Spencer.
This is another one to be read at my funeral. Love, Hope, Fromson. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am a diamond glint on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the autumn rain. When you awake in the morning hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush. Of birds circling in flight, I am the stars that shine at night. So do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there, I did not die. And then I wrote a little something for my mom. I want to start with something so simple, something that comes without thought to most. If you would humor me here and take a deep breath, in your nose, out your mouth. That breath that I just took, that breath that you all just took, that is a gift that didn't come easy to my mom. Mom, you have left us with a void in our family, in your friendships, in our hearts. You lived your life through your family, your friends, through everyone you loved. For the past 10 or 15 years, there's been so much you were unable to do, and I know it broke your heart. Growing up, I remember the countless days spent in your office, the pads of paper I went through as I perfected my lettering, our endless car rides to destinations we never seemed to get to, our birthday dinners, our sleepovers. You were there for my dance recitals, for my Singing Angels performances, my graduations. You were there the night I got engaged. You helped me pick out my wedding dress. You sat in the front row as Papa married me to the man of my dreams. You were my constant. I hope you know how grateful I am for all of the love you shared, not only with me, with Emery, but Spencer as well. You loved Spencer like he was your own, because he truly was. Speaking of love, the love you and Papa had for one another is a love admired and sought after by so many. The way that you two would look at each other, knowing what the other was thinking, without words ever being spoken, left me in awe time after time. I love you more than life, you would say to Papa. I hope all are lucky enough to find a love like that. A love that is so strong that your heart hurts because it's just that full. You two taught me how to love and to be loved. I'll miss your smile. I'll miss your voice. I'll miss your laugh. I'll miss everything. Spencer and I laid in bed the other night, replaying your voicemails from the past few years. Yes, I saved each one. Even if it was a simple, hello, I'm thinking of you, your words and your voice will echo in my ears and in my heart. I know you fought to be here every moment of every day. Whenever we talked about the future, you had always said, God willing. Every time you said those words, I hated it. I cringed. You weren't going to leave us, not anytime soon. I wish I was right, but I should have known you always had the answers. I'm so sorry, Mom, that it wasn't easy for you. If I could have made the pain go away, the air to flow more freely, I would have. I would have done anything to be able to do that for you. The past year was not ideal. It is not at all how we had pictured it would be in so many ways. We did not envision the first time you met our baby girl would be in a heated garage with masks, shields, and abundance of hand sanitizer. Something that truly devastates me is not having you with us to watch our sweet Emery grow up. You told me that many times in your last days with us. I just want to watch her grow. I know you still will, just in a different way. While writing this, I had to take a moment to pause, as I know you would have wanted me to. Life moves too quickly. I watched Emery rise to her feet and look around with curiosity. Everything is so new to her, and I don't want to miss a thing. I want to watch her grow. I'll soak all of this in, not only for me, not only for Spencer, for Mom, for Dad, for Papa, but for you. You were grateful for every moment you had in this world, and we were grateful for every moment we had with you.
It's hard not to become a hopeless romantic when you grow up with a front row seat to the greatest love story ever told. You hope to be like Papa, the guy who's lucky enough to find the girl of his dreams and spend a lifetime with her. But the story goes much further than that. In fact, it's the telling of the story that has taught me the most. That story is about a girl who hears her love story told again and again to her children and grandchildren. She gently sits beside Papa as he tells it, chiming in with the finer details. But you can see in her eyes that she's not just confirming a series of events. You're seeing someone who knows that the story being told, the story of her life, is a fairy tale. And you, the listener, can see plain as day that the two innocent children who fell in love lived happily ever after. Hop and Papa built a life so full of love that they make it almost impossible to live up to. And I will spend every day for the rest of my life trying to find, exemplify, and embody that incredible love in every single thing I do. Hop left us knowing she had not wasted any time, because she didn't. She spent all of it with Papa, with her friends, and with her family. I am so glad that I made it back in time to tell her once more how grateful I am for everything she has given me in this life. I told her that she and Papa taught me how to love. I also thanked her for giving me such an incredible father. And she responded, I made him. The last thing I'll share is a random detail, seemingly inconsequential, but it means something to me, and I think it will help me wrap this all up. One day when I was a kid, I was washing my hands. As I often do, I turned the cold knob and began to wash. Hop came up behind me, ran her hands under the water. Then she turned the other knob and made the water warm. It's small, but that's who Hop has always been for me. The person who would catch me making things too cold or too difficult or too harsh and would step in and make everything warmer. All of us here today, virtually and in person, know how warm of a soul Hop was. Let's remember that and take it with us everywhere we go. Think of Hop
And don't forget to turn the other knob and make things just a little warmer.
I don't know how you follow the grandchildren. That's an unenviable task because their words and thoughts are just beautiful and really encapsulate my mom and our mom in such a way that I'm just moved to tears. I want to thank Rabbi Scoff. As I told him the other night, my mom always loved to hear him speak, and I know she would have been pleased with his words today. So thank you. Before I start, my mom used to always sneak some money in my pockets, and I would just have a pair of pants and put my hands in the pocket, and lo and behold, there was couple bucks, $5, and I haven't worn this jacket in a while, and I got to check before we start just to see if there's anything in here. I got some Kleenex, which I know she would have because my mom was a crier just like me. She always said I was too much like her. I guess not. Well, let me, hang on. I got one more pocket. Hold on. $20. Thanks, Mom. I knew you wouldn't forget. Wow. On behalf of the entire family, I want to thank all of you for Zooming in this morning. We are sorry that we cannot be with you in person or all be together at this time. Your presence is meaningful to us, even though we cannot see you. Your phone calls, emails, texts, and kind words the last few days have been comforting to each of us. This past Friday night, my mom said the blessings over the Shabbat candles at the kitchen table with my sister Lisa, with Lisa's daughter Allison, and with Allison's daughter Emery. 4 generations of family. It was a beautiful moment. Last Sunday, we gathered at the house sitting in the bedroom, and my mom summoned each of us, each family member in individually to talk to them alone and give them her personal thoughts and future instructions. It was like a scene out of the Godfather movie. This past Monday, our mom laid in bed next to our dad holding hands, surrounded by their entire family. She looked lovingly into his eyes and said, "What a wonderful life we have had." She told us to stay close to each other, to take care of our dad, and to make sure he eats enough protein. She encouraged our dad to go on living and to enjoy the rest of his life, unselfish to the end. So family and friends on this Zoom, after you get your vaccinations, please give my dad a call and get together. He would love to talk with you and see you. On Tuesday, she told each of us that she loved us. She kissed us goodbye, and just as she wanted, went quietly to peaceful sleep. No longer tethered to an oxygen tank, no longer experiencing any pain or discomfort, her difficulties of recent years, just a distant memory. When so many others in the world had to say goodbye to their loved ones on FaceTime from a hospital bed, their hands held by a stranger, Mom received the gift of dying in her own bed, with her hand held by her loving husband, surrounded by all her children, grandchildren, and her great-grandchild in the room, just the way she wanted it. A party planner to the end, Mom choreographed her own exit, even leaving my dad an envelope for him to open after her death. The envelope contained instructions for passages that she wanted to be read at her funeral, pictures that she wanted placed with her in her coffin, and even the specific wording that she wanted on her thank you cards. If you have any problems with this funeral, you can take it up with her. When Francis Lai wrote the lyrics to the song Love Story for the movie of the same name and sang, "Where do I begin to tell the story of how great a love can be, the sweet love story that is older than the sea, the simple truth about the love she brings to me, where do I start?" Well, I'm going to tell you where you start. You start at Shaker Heights Junior High School in Miss Snow's 7th grade English class. That's where my dad first noticed a beautiful girl named Hope Greenspan. He spoke of her inner and outer beauty throughout their life together, and always felt lucky that she chose to be with him. He carries her high school graduation picture in his wallet to this day. Theirs was a beautiful love story from beginning to end. Some of you, excuse me for one second. Some of you might know or have read about it in the Cleveland Jewish News, but on July 2nd, 2020, Mom and Dad celebrated 60 years of marriage, an event so precious it is known as the Diamond Anniversary. In this case, the Hope Diamond Anniversary. A marital feat few people can ever imagine, let alone live to see. Fewer than 5% of all marriages last 50 years. A much smaller number survive 60 years. Their maintaining a loving and lasting relationship for 60 years is an incredible accomplishment and something to be extremely proud of achieving. With life constantly in flux and certainly not always easy, our parents' love for each other provided them the stability they needed to meet life's challenges. Patience for the most part, tolerance and a sense of humor were also important factors to their longevity as a couple. It's no secret that most couples begin life's journey with shared dreams and passionate love, but some say it's the gift of friendship that is the key to a long-lasting marriage. It is said that all things are inherently good, but not if they remain unshared. Sharing, the recognition that I is more important or not as important as we, is acknowledging there must be times when your need is greater than mine. Sharing is winning. The motto is, it's ours, not mine. Mom and Dad maintained their friendship since they were 13 years old, and they certainly understood the concept of sharing. It is said that commitment creates the desire to achieve lasting happiness by giving, caring, sharing, and respecting the other at least as much as oneself. Mom and Dad were always and have always been there for each other. Their sense of commitment to each other has been unparalleled since the beginning, and that is why they have been able to experience lasting happiness. Mom and Dad are both proud graduates of Shaker Heights High School, class of 1957. Their first date at the Ice Capades was the start of their journey together. Both of their college endeavors were cut short by love, but Mom was a talented artist, and her paintings fill the house. Dad was an excellent student and very strong writer. After marrying young, they had me 10 months later. I still consider myself a honeymoon baby. Mom and Dad then survived the loss of a child, Michael Brett, shortly after his birth. When I think of him, the loss of my younger brother, I like to think ideally that he and I would have had the kind of relationship and friendship that my sons Brett and Noah have together. While I did not learn of his death until my 16th birthday, I have felt his profound loss in subtle ways since. The loss of Michael Brett was devastating for Mom and Dad, but their devastation was soon replaced by joy. Lisa Joy, my sister to be exact. However, when Lisa had health issues and was unable to walk until the age of 3, there was additional fear and anxiety for my mom and dad to overcome. But their strong love and commitment to each other got them through these tough and scary times. From an apartment on Brookline to a home on Aldersgate Drive to the current home on Kersdale, Mom and Dad gave us wonderful childhoods. They sacrificed so their children could have a better life. They sent Lisa and I to Hawkins School when it was not easy to do so financially, gave us many other opportunities along the way, made sure that we graduated college without debt, encouraged us to get a master's degree and a law degree. They taught us life lessons and to live our lives with honesty and integrity. I think that not having a lot of money and the struggles of being a young couple with young children made Mom and Dad appreciate their subsequent achievements and successes in life even more. While doing all of this for their children, Mom and Dad both owned and operated successful businesses for long periods of time. Dad owned and operated Consultants Insurance Agency and then Worldwide Services, and Mom owned Affairs for Debonaires and then the same business in her own name. Mom owning and operating a business in 1973 as a successful woman made her a true pioneer, as not many women did so at that time. To be able to manage and balance business ownership with family life was not easy, but they were a team, and we were never aware of how difficult it really was at the time. Mom and Dad never missed a school, sporting, or other extracurricular event for Lisa or me. They have always been there for us and did the same for the next generations. It is a testimony to my mom and dad that they kept the same friends all these years and how important those friendships were to them and how much they added to their life. Because of these friendships, we have all been blessed with aunts and uncles who were not aunts and uncles, but were treated as such and are part of our lives to this day. Speaking of family, you can tell a lot about people by the way they treat their parents, and Mom treated her parents very well. She loved them and was there for them throughout their lives. We have followed her example, but I really want to thank my sister Lisa for being such a wonderful daughter, an amazing caregiver for my mom, especially as things got more difficult for her the last few years. Lisa is an incredible person and somehow manages to do in one day what most people do in a week. Her love of and for my mom was extraordinary, and my mom was grateful for her love. Mom tracked all of these important events that took place throughout her life and important days in the lives of those she loved in her handwritten calendar, which she always kept close by her side along with her address book, which she has had since the 1970s. If you need a plumber, make sure you look under the letter P, and if you need an electrician, make sure you look under the letter E. Mom could tell me exactly how many years ago it was that I started my first law job, how many years ago Lisa started teaching. She called me up when Noah had his first anniversary at work on his job, and the date and how many years it has been since her close friend's husband died. She phoned everyone on those important dates and reminded them of their milestone. She took the time, care, and love to update and rewrite the calendar at the end of each passing year. Mom did it because if these events were important and meaningful to us, then they were important and meaningful to her. That is just one of the many qualities that made her such a loving and wonderful person and friend. She always put others in her life first, especially my dad. Mom, am I now going to have to pay retail for my stationery and business cards? Mom always knew the classy or proper way to do and word things. She always insisted on doing things first class, and we followed her protocol. I had business cards, announcements, and stationery from Cranes. Your business cards could not be thin or cheap looking because it was someone's first impression, and she wanted it to be good. It's part of the reason she was so good at her business. She always felt that it was worth paying a little more for better quality. Do not skimp when buying a pair of shoes. Buy better quality shoes, and they will last longer. The same with clothes. She knew that when you looked good, you felt better about yourself. Important life lessons again. At the end of the day, month, year, or 60 years, it's still all about love. The love that my parents have for each other and the love that they have for their beautiful family. As important as love is to get you through happy and difficult times, you still need some luck and the grace of God to make it 60 years together. Both of our parents survived cancer 3 times, and each of them could not have survived those difficult times without the other. Mom's COPD put a real dent in her ability to fully enjoy the latter period of her life, but she managed to keep battling and not give up. And when Dad had his esophagus removed, Mom overlooked her own troubles to step up and care for Dad, and we were all extremely proud of her. The ability to care for each other and survive health issues and other obstacles along the way enabled them to be around to celebrate the wonderful occasion of their 60th anniversary. The traditional wedding vows to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part, are words that our parents both honored and lived by throughout their life. Our parents were there for each other for over 60 years. They have been there for us, their family. They have both been guiding lights for all of us through the years we shared with them. We wish for them on the day of their 60th anniversary many more years together, as many as humanly possible. We wish for them more great-grandchildren. We wish for them many more simple joys, more laughter, more family gatherings, more smiles, more hand-holding, more loving glances, and even more happiness than they already had in their life. They were able to get 6 more months together. We wished for them less pain, fewer hard days, less time in hospitals and doctors' offices, and less time in Mass. This wish was granted for my mom on Tuesday. While her death has been sad and difficult for us, and we will have to navigate our lives without her, I believe that it was a welcome relief for her and a journey that she was ready to make. Her son and our little brother, Michael Brett, has waited almost 58 years to be with his mom, and I know that she could not wait to hold him in her arms again. Rest in peace, Mom. You are loved deeply and will be missed forever. Amen.
not much that I can say that hasn't already been said. Both of us have been so thankful for the wonderful family we have and the expression of love that comes forth from all of you. We thank our friends who have stood by us through all of this. And there's not, though I could probably speak on for a long time, I just want to say a few words that hope left. They speak for the way both of us, each of us, felt about the other. Thank you, Yank, for hearing my thoughts, understanding my dreams, and for being my best friend, for filling my life with joy and loving me without end. I do. Love, Bron. Bron, I love you. Yank.
שוכן ממרומי המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה עם קדושים וטהורים כזהר הקיא המצהירים את הנשמת תקווה בת נתן וחנה בלה שהלכה לעולמה בעל הרחמים יסיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים ויתרו בצרוח החיים את נשמתה אדוני הוא נחלתה וחתנוח בשלום על משכבו ונאמר אמן.
I want to offer our condolences to the family, to the surviving members of the family, to Jay, to Scott and Kathy, Lisa and David, Matthew, Allison, Erdley, Spencer, Brett, Noah, and Hallie, and to Emery, and to Ronald and Deborah. We're going to pause in the service right now. We're going to move now by processional to Hillcrest Cemetery, where we'll officiate at the burial portion of the service. The service for the chapel is now concluded.